Let's talk about something insanely cool happening in the retro action game world right now. You know how sometimes a game reveal just hits all the right buttons? That mix of nostalgia, badass visuals, and gameplay that makes you immediately go, yep, that's my jam. Well, that's exactly what happened when I saw the announcement for Huntdown Overtime. So, this one's a roguelite prequel to the cult favorite 2020 run-and-gun shooter Huntdown. It's stylish, violent, neon-soaked, and soaked with pure 80s VHS energy. And honestly, from what we've seen so far, it might just outclass Terminator 2D No Fate as the ultimate 2D blast of cyberpunk chaos. So let's talk what it is, how it plays, and why it's carrying the spirit of 80s action movies better than anything else right now. A prequel with a brutal story twist. Now, if you played the original Huntdown, you'll remember it was this insanely fun 2D shooter where you played as one of the 3 bounty hunters cleaning up a futuristic city crawling with gangs. Think Contra meets Blade Runner, with one-liners ripped straight out of an 80s Arnold flick. It had humor, blood, metal, and just the right amount of cheese. But Overtime does something really bold. Instead of going bigger and flashier as a sequel, it actually goes back in time. This is a prequel focusing entirely on John Sawyer, the grizzled bounty hunter from the original. Back then, he was already half cybernetic, basically a walking tank with a bad attitude. But Overtime takes us back to when he was still just a man, beaten down, running jobs to survive, and slowly transforming into the machine we know. The gameplay loop. Old school action meets modern roguelite. Alright, let's get back to the gameplay part, because this is where Huntdown really flexes. The devs describe it as a roguelite built on relentless, forward momentum gunplay. That means every single run is going to be different. New levels, new enemy placements, random weapons, and different cybernetic upgrades that literally change how you play. So instead of linear missions like the original, you'll be doing bounty runs. You drop into procedurally generated city zones, grimy streets, rooftops, sewers, full of rival gangs and killer cyborgs. You blast through goons, collect loot, earn cash bounties, and then extract before the city eats you alive. And then you do it again, stronger, faster, and more cybered up than before. The more you play, the better you build Sawyer. And here's the cool bit. Every upgrade physically alters him. Maybe you bolt on a robotic arm that boosts reload speed, or an ocular implant that slows time when aiming, or maybe a leg mod that lets you kick like a human wrecking ball. Over time, your version of Sawyer starts looking more like a machine than a man. The entire system is built to feel satisfying and brutal. Each run gives you the sense of growth, not just progress bars, but a visible transformation. It's like you can see the toll on his bounty hunting takes, piece by piece. Non-stop gunplay with that John Wick flow. One thing that I really like from what the team has said is that they took a lot of inspiration from John Wick. Not the story, but the pacing and momentum. In their words, Overtime is all about action without downtime. You aren't hiding behind cover like modern shooters. You're moving, sliding, vaulting, picking up fallen weapons mid-run, and keeping that combo of motion and violence going. The gameplay looks like a dance of destruction, where slowing down means death. It's a roguelite design with the rhythm of a top-tier action film. Every bullet feels like a drumbeat. Every reload is a breath of tension. And let's be real, if you combine that fluidity with the crunchy pixel violence of the original Huntdown, it's going to feel incredible to play. From what's shown so far, weapon variety is a huge deal again. The visual style, pure VHS cyberpunk. So visually, this game looks absolutely stunning in its own dirty, neon-drenched way. Huntdown Overtime doesn't just go retro for nostalgia's sake, it nails that imperfect VHS era feel. You get pixel art that's ridiculously detailed, soaked in flickering billboards, rain, reflections, and smoke. It's got that grimy industrial tone, but with bright pops of neon light, the kind of thing you'd see in an old-school sci-fi movie like RoboCop or The Terminator. The devs said they wanted it to feel like you're watching an 80s action movie that's been replayed 100 times on tape, with the colors bleeding and the picture warping. And guys, it totally works. The aesthetic hits you straight in the nostalgia, but feels modern with dynamic lighting and smooth animations. The soundtrack. Synths that punch harder than a shotgun. You can't talk 80s action without music, right? Well, just like the first game, Overtime absolutely slaps in the sound department. The soundtrack's packed with punchy synth bass lines, pounding drum machines, and those moody retro keys that just scream grit and glory. The devs hinted that the music dynamically shifts with the gameplay, meaning the moment you start a firefight, the tempo rises, layers kick in, and you're practically feeling the action through the beat. It reminds me of Hotline Miami and Katana Zero, where the music doesn't just sit in the background, it becomes your motivator, your tempo, your heartbeat. The roguelite grind that actually has purpose. The roguelite system isn't just there to make the game replayable, it's thematically smart. Every death, every retry, feeds into the idea that Sawyer's losing himself to the grind. Each run is another job, and as you keep dying and rebuilding, you're literally pushing him towards cybernetic dependence. It's storytelling through repetition. You start to realize the bounty hunting life isn't just hard, it's consuming. This is what great roguelites do. They make the gameplay mean something beyond the mechanics. Every time you die and come back stronger, it feels like it's a part of the character's journey, not just yours. From what we know, you'll also be unlocking new gear blueprints, weapon upgrades, and customization features over time. So there's that long-term drip of progress that makes games like Dead Cells or Rogue Legacy 2 so addictive. But because this one's tied to a gritty cyberpunk story arc, it hits differently. Why it feels so fresh. What's wild is that even though Overtime looks incredibly nostalgic, it still feels new. The original Huntdown was already a love letter to old-school run-and-gun shooters, but this time, Easy Trigger is mixing that modern roguelike DNA in a way that makes perfect sense. They didn't just slap random generation and loot onto a shooter, they rebuilt the game around it. The levels, enemies, and progression all feed into this gritty, one more run vibe. You'll fail a lot, you'll upgrade, and you'll want to jump right back in because every run feels like a unique, cinematic shootout. And honestly, not enough games commit to this exact tone anymore. It's unapologetically 80s. No filters, no ironic detachment, just raw, synth-fueled chaos. Better than Terminator 2D No Fate? Alright, now I gotta say it. Huntdown Overtime feels like it could genuinely outshine Terminator 2D No Fate. Don't get me wrong, I loved No Fate. It did a fantastic job capturing that 80s sci-fi energy and was a solid tribute to one of the best film series ever. But at the end of the day, it felt like a fan project paying homage. Overtime though, it feels original, like it belongs in that same cinematic universe but with its own soul. It's not copying Terminator, it's channeling the same DNA. The gritty hopelessness, the mechanical transformation, the lone anti-hero trudging through a dying city. It's all here, but filtered through Easy Trigger's signature personality. And with the roguelite structure, it has way more depth. Every run feels like a scene from an 80s movie stitched together with more destruction. Instead of memorizing stages like a traditional platformer, you adapt and improvise. One run you're sniping from rooftops, the next you're dual-wielding Uzis in a subway full of gangs. The road ahead. Early Access 2026. The game's confirmed to hit Steam Early Access in Q2 2026, which is super close. You can already wishlist it, by the way. And the devs are setting up an official Discord so players can actually help shape how the game evolves. Easy Trigger mentioned that they'll keep adding new weapons, upgrades, bosses, and possibly even new environments as Early Access rolls on. And that's huge because the roguelike structure practically begs for new content drops. Final thoughts. Why I'm hyped. Look, it's not every day that a small indie team captures lightning in a pixel art bottle twice. Huntdown Overtime isn't just another sequel or spin-off. It feels like a full-blown evolution. The original gave us tight, polished run-and-gun mayhem. This one cranks that DNA with roguelite design, more character depth, and a stronger visual identity. It looks grittier, plays faster, and feels meaner. And the best part is, it isn't pretending to be retro. It is retro at heart, just upgraded with modern sensibilities. So yeah, if I had to describe it in one line, it's like Hades put up a trench coat, lit a cigar, and walked onto the set of RoboCop. If you love side-scrollers, roguelites, or anything dripping in 80s flair, keep Huntdown Overtime on your radar. Because when this thing hits early access later this year, it's going to hit hard.